There's a lot of terms in the employment spaces that's basically showing that people are unhappy working. And you can understand it. We're not getting paid nearly enough to keep up with the cost. And the top people are making all of the money, and then everybody at the bottom is getting some crumbs. So I completely understand. We had quiet quitting, we got lying flat in some places. There's just a lot going on. Now we have resenteeism. Okay. New workplace trend. Resenteeism has employees working less hard because they hate their jobs. Let's talk about it. Now, this is supposedly a trend, but I remember resenteeism. I remember I was resentful at a job. It was about 20 years ago, but it didn't have a word to it. All right, let's check out this article. Similar to the viral sensation, quiet quitting, when employees get the bare minimum done on the job due to burnout and feeling they're underappreciated, the latest career trend, resenteeism, captures workers' tendency towards low productivity because they're resentful. They realize they have to stay at their current job because of financial obligations and responsibilities, but they're not ready to leave the position for one reason or another. I think this is also why America needs people to have babies. Because if you have financial obligations, you're going to stay working, you're going to stay put because you don't have choices. So that's the reason why people who are child free on purpose, who choose to not get married, they can live a minimalist lifestyle and they can say, F this poop. Yes, I don't cuss. They can say F this and just leave because they could possibly have enough money to have that FU money and walk away when things are not optimal at work. That's another reason why, like I said, they need people to have babies because babies keep you anchored. This unproductive mentality is affecting both small businesses and large companies across the country. Fox Business reached out to three employment experts about how this autopilot work trend is impacting today's workforce, as well as an individual who admits to practicing resenteeism himself. What exactly is it? Jennifer Libby, a district manager with Inspirity in Kansas City, Missouri, said resenteeism describes employees who remain in roles they find unsatisfying, either because they don't believe they can find a better opportunity or because they've tried and failed to find a job they want. Over time, they begin to resent their employer because they feel trapped in a job they do not want. What caused this disengagement among workers who go on autopilot at work? Lack of advancement opportunities, a toxic corporate culture, an excessive workload, and feelings of burnout can all contribute to resenteeism. Now, as I am reading this, I begin to think of those marriages that need to end, where people need to be divorced, but they are stuck because they just can't get away due to financial reasons, or one person can't buy out the other person. They know it's toxic, but they just can't get away. So they just exist together. That's the reason why as I hear some of these relationships, or I hear about what's going on in some of these corporations or like some of these industries, it all parallels. It's just a slightly different version. Can y'all hear the parallel? If employees want to try to escape these factors by searching for a new job but cannot find one, they may experience resenteeism. Their resentment can build up over time if they cannot find another position while their work environment fails to improve. And if this man's name is really Dominic and he really works for a furniture company in Georgia, it is wild that he put all this information out there because I'm like, come on, Dom. This is kind of wild. I'm just going to call him Dom. Dom, a senior manager at a furniture company in Georgia, said his day to day routine has become one of regret and resentment due to a lack of engagement at work. He said he's also given more work to do without financial reward. For privacy reasons, he asked us to admit his last name. He should have changed his first name. He should have called himself Pedro or Jack or something. All right. People think supply chain issues have slowed down the demand for furniture, but the truth is more people are outfitting their homes because it's too costly to move. Dom handles inventory for the company between doing paperwork, managing logistical issues, and handling daily employment squabbles and scheduling. He said he is unhappy in his position. The married father aspires to switch jobs, but with two children, he said he can't act irresponsibly. My wife works part-time as a nurse and our fixed expenses are there. I have learned to accept the fact that I have to make the best of a somewhat bad situation, as many Americans are doing now. Prices are rising, companies are stretched, and our choices are not ours to make anymore. This is the reason why I said earlier that the whole child free movement is making people sound alarmed because folks will not be stuck. So, generations up under us, that are coming up, and they see how little companies are paying, and they see how families are stretched thin. They see the childcare situation. They see the educational issue. They see what's going on in the medical field. They see how women's rights are being, shaved down. Why would they want to have kids in this environment? Why? Okay, I'll continue. He told Fox Business he's looked for other jobs, but either those jobs are not close to home or he'd be taking a dip in salary. There's also a quality of life to consider, Dom said. Although I don't really like my job, I'm 15 minutes from home. I can see my boys' games and spend Sundays as a family together at church and watching sports. He added, so for the time being, I will stick with my job and make it work, even though my work ethic isn't what it should be. What are signs of resenteeism? The signs include a lack of passion, decreased engagement, and reduced performance, said Libby with Insperity. When employees stop striving for advancement opportunities, that can also be a sign that resenteeism has prevented them from seeing a future at their organization. Some experts have a more pragmatic approach to resenteeism in the workforce. Those who feel resentment perform to minimal acceptable standards, just as most in the workforce do, said James R. Bailey, Hochberg professor of the leadership at George Washington University in DC. They look apathetic and indifferent and irritable and unpredictable, passive aggressive. All performers behave this way. I'm sorry, all poor performers behave this way. What else is there to know about the trend? A March 2024 Pulse survey released by OWL Labs revealed a disconnect between company leadership and employees that is plaguing many workplaces. Frank Washop, CEO of OWL Labs in Boston, told Fox Business that ever since the pandemic spurred a movement towards hybrid and flexible work, there's been a tension surrounding some companies' policies when those policies are unclear or are perceived as unequal. OWL Labs found that employees can have negative reactions, including feeling like they're being taken advantage of, yet others with more flexibility aren't working as hard, feeling resentful of people with more flexibility, feeling resentful of employers for allowing it, feeling excluded, feeling inadequate as if they're not good enough to have the same flexibility, feeling envious of others. So those are some of the negative reaction that some employees are feeling. Amid these disjointed workplaces, workers can start to slowly disengage, sometimes without even realizing it. Internal resentment can lead to an unhappy workplace culture that can eventually affect productivity. He also said while employee burnout or going on autopilot can be common, it can be remedied by listening to what employees actually want, whether that's flexible work schedules, flexible locations, or core hours. How can employees move past resenteeism? Employees should have an open and honest conversation with their manager about the factors leading to this situation, said Libby. With these conversations can feel intimidating, but without being transparent about their concerns, employees may not see the changes they want. For example, if employees are lacking in advancement or development opportunities, they should ask their manager to create a timeline and set metrics for promotion. I don't even know why they would say this, because these people don't want a promotion. They want a different job. They want a different life. And companies are not addressing it because they don't want to make changes until they are forced to make changes. And that is happening in many industries across this country. A lot of people are burnt out, and these companies aren't fixing it. Anyways, I thought this was interesting to examine. Y'all jump in the comments. Let me know what you think about this one. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.